Hey guys, I know it is in the middle of the night on the West Coast and just early in the morning on the East Coast. I'm going to do my toes. And you guys saw me do my toes live last week, I believe. But I'm sorry, y'all. I cannot stand this red on my toes. It's too bright. And this red is one of my favorite colors on my fingers, but on my toes, yeah, no. So we're live on YouTube, and we are also live on Facebook. So if you guys can do me a huge favor and share the live wherever you're watching from, and I'm going to save it, of course, so you guys can always come back and watch it. I'm going to show you how to do my toes. I don't do my toes often. But yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. This red, it's gotta go. So I'm going to show you guys start to finish how I'm going to do my own toes. And this is also the process. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm slipping. This is also the process that I use on my clients. I always do their toes before I do the pedicure. I always polish first because I only do gel polish. And I soaked off my blue nails, if you guys can see. So I haven't obviously finished or completed the prep process because I'm going to do my nails tomorrow. But I started I started the soak off of the blue nails, and I'm just going to throw my towel down. This is the towel I was using for my soak off. I don't want to get any dust in my lamp. Also, I could just move the lamp, right? But no, I'm gonna leave it down there because I'm gonna try not to move too much. I don't want to get up and get the lamp, plug it up, and all that stuff. No, it's so late, y'all, or early, whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to use the gel removal bit from ctones.com, and I'm just going to start removing the gel from my toes. Normally I use this removal bit on a little bit higher of a setting when I'm like removing acrylic or gel from the nails, but because there's only just a little bit of gel on my toes, I'm going to just use this a little bit slower. I don't want to mess up my natural toenails, just like I don't want to mess up my natural nails. So I'm just going to go a little bit on the slow side. And feel free to leave comments, y'all, if you guys can do me a favor and comment where you are watching from. And also, what time is it where you're at? I always get on live and I literally do not know what time it is when I start. I used to have, I know for those of you who have been watching for this entire time that I've been on live, going live on Facebook, I used to have like a set time and all that, but you guys also know, if you've been watching me, that I'm always late. So I just try not to confine myself to time restrictions and deadlines if I can. I already do. I already have enough of that going on in other parts of the Ctones world. So I try to kind of be free when it comes to content, but you guys also know my Facebook woes and troubles right now, so I'm trying to go live a little bit more often. So yeah, so I hope I get all that straightened out, but if not, I'm still gonna work at it, and I'm still gonna be going live. Oh, that's what I forgot my base coat, y'all. I always do a base coat on my toes. I do my toes exactly how I would do a gel manicure. in this part, like, you don't have to use the e-file to remove your gel polish or whatever. You definitely can do the regular soak off method. You could sit your client's toes in a bowl of acetone. You could do the foil method, which is the most popular soak off method for toes. You can soak some cotton or something in acetone and wrap the toes in foil for about 15-20 minutes after removing the top coat, of course. But yeah, so there's different ways to remove gel. This to me obviously is just a faster way, but you definitely want to only do this step if you are trained or familiar with the e-file, because like I always say, this is a tool, piece of equipment that you see us using often as nail technicians, and it's like, oh, I could do that because you've been watching, somebody use the e-file your entire life. But it is not as easy as it looks. We obviously make it look easy because we have that experience and it's effortless. It doesn't take long to get the hang of the e-file, but you definitely want to always keep in mind, no matter how long you've been doing nails for or how familiar you are with it, that it is a powerful tool, a powerful piece of equipment, and it can cause damage if you are using it improperly. So just a disclaimer, I want to make sure that you're trying your hardest to be as safe as possible when using this. Some of our bits, we may not feel them, so I do also like to push that if you are a beginner nail tech and you're trying to get the hang of the e-file and maybe you don't have access to proper training, or your training is just kind of video only and you don't learn that way, really just kind of doesn't matter where you are in your nail tech journey, but you want to practice on yourself before you ever touch a client. Practice on yourself a little bit. That way you'll get the hang of how fast you want the e-file to go, how much pressure to put down. It's going to take a lot of practice, and I know this sounds crazy, but who better to hurt first than yourself? I promise you, if you are unfamiliar with this e-file, don't start on a client. Start on a mannequin hand, graduate to your own hands, and once you can kind of understand your e-file by ear, then you're ready. And yeah, just make sure you practice on yourself first so you don't hurt nobody. And you know what you're doing, and you can feel and have a better understanding of what you are doing to a client. So this bit that I'm using right now is the gel / acrylic removal bit. I am using it on a lower setting, but it's also a safety bit. So you see me kind of getting close to my cuticle area, and it is painless because that bit is rounded at the top. Safety bits to me personally are kind of new. I mean, not new, but they're like, I feel like they're less than, I guess about like, I'm not, maybe I was inexperienced with the e-file for a very, very long time. But I never used safety bits. I only used the mandrel and the sanding bands for a set start to finish. So learning how to do a set using your mandrel only, I do think is important as a nail tech. Just how I tell you guys, I swiped something on my phone. But just how I tell you guys to use the hand file and know how to manually file some nails before you get to the e-file, because one day your e-file is not going to work, or you're not going to have it. Something's going to happen, and you are still going to have to get your workload done for the day. So you're going to have to put down your broken e-file, or let's say you don't have power. That's happened to me more than once. I didn't have power, so I had to file manually. So you want to make sure you kind of know how to do everything with the minimal amount of tools. So I say that because I was doing full sets for 5-6 years using the mandrel bit only and sanding band. But now they have these wonderful bits that are rounded, and because they are rounded, they allow us to be less careful. It's kind of like birth control. Like, you still want to be careful. You still want to wear a condom, because, birth control is not going to stop diseases. So, yeah, it's kind of the same, if you guys catch my drift. It's the same way. Like, it's a safety bit is a safety bit, but you still want to know how. You don't want to just lean on the safety bit and only know how to use that. You want to still know how to use, pretty much all of them. And you should be able to use a regular bit, a carbide bit, mandrel, sanding band, whatever. You should still know how to use that properly, without having that extra security of safety. I hope that makes sense, y'all. Y'all know I just start rambling on sometimes. So I've kind of already really gotten into my cuticle area with my nippers, but I'm going to go back in again, on my big toes at least, not on the rest of my toes, because I really don't need to, I don't need any cuticle care on the rest of my toes, just on my big toes. And they are really short right now because they broke down. Well, one of them broke on the corner, so I just filed it all the way down. And my toenails, like most people's toenails, grow pretty quickly, so I don't really care too much about a break. I'll just file it all the way down. Very rarely do I put an extension on my big toe, but sometimes it happens. So before I actually remove all of that polish, I'm going to get into my cuticle area with my cuticle bit. I'm not going to use, like I said, my nippers on the rest of my toes. I'm only going to use my nippers on my big toes. I just did my pedicure a week ago, so it's not necessary for me to keep clipping and clipping and clipping, and there's really nothing to clip. But yeah, y'all, I just could not stand that red on my toes. I went out the other night, and I actually went to the beach, and I was just disgusted with this damn red. And the sad part is that this has happened to me multiple times before. I love burgundy, a dark, deep shade of red on my toes, and I love a bright shade of red on my nails, on my hands. So sometimes I just try to, sometimes I love a color so much, I love this red so much, especially on my hands, that I feel like, oh, I'm gonna put it on my toes and it's gonna be just as amazing. And then I realize, you're stupid, you don't like bright red on your toes, and you're just gonna do it anyway. So yeah, this literally happens every time I do bright red. I thought maybe I grew out of that, but I did not. So I'm gonna do something different on my toes today. It's not going to be as simple as just repolishing, but it's going to make me happy. And when I look down at my toes, I'm going to like my toes. Somebody's like, oh, you have pretty feet. And I looked down and I was like, oh my God, look at that fucking red though. So yeah, and as you guys can see, like, I don't feel like my feet are pretty at all without polish. So I told someone the other day, like, I'm just letting you know now, you're never gonna see my toes not done. So just letting you know, don't be trying to play me like I'm one of these girls who walks around with half painted toenails, because yeah, we're not doing that. I don't live like that. Y'all, the last time I did my toes, I said I had a cleft toe. I don't know why. And then nobody corrected nobody corrected me. Like, bitch, you don't have no cleft toe. I don't know why I kept saying the word cleft. The word I was trying to tell you guys was I have a clubbed toe. So I know somebody probably was like, what the hell is a cleft toe? And then they Googled it and they were like, what was she talking about? Yeah, I was definitely not talking about a cleft toe. I don't even know what the hell that is. I'm talking about my clubbed toe. My second toe is clubbed. It's not drastically or dramatically clubbed, but it is a club toe, and it's wide. As you can see, it's wider at the tip. And if I were to let this nail grow all the way out, it would definitely curl underneath my actual toe. That's just how it grows, and it's a lot thinner than it naturally is. I always file the sides and taper the sides to kind of give it a more uniform look as my other toes on this foot and this foot. So yeah, I've always, given this toe extra care, because I feel like that's my ugly toe, my clubbed toe, not my cleft toe. I don't know why the hell I said that. So now I'm going to go in with a fine sanding band, and I'm going to remove the rest of the polish, and also, well, you know what? No, I'm actually going to go in with my cuticle nippers first. Some cuticle nippers. You want to take care of your nippers because they are so fragile and it takes absolutely nothing to damage them. You want to make sure that you're also using cuticle nippers on skin and not nails or acrylic. Otherwise, I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to see. I want you guys to get a good angle, but I also can't be in my light. I'm trying to be out of my light. So my cuticle area on the side here is dusty, but that's really just that dust sticking to dead skin that has already that quickly accumulated on my big toes, on the sides of my big toes. I'm not going to say I suffer from ingrown toenails, because I don't feel like I suffer, only because I know how to do my own toes. But once that dead skin gets built up, especially right here, and then my natural toenails grow really long, and then they just start hitting my shoe. For most of the people who know me, they always see me barefoot or in flip-flops. And growing up, being born and raised in California, that's just a luxury that we have, that we can wear flip-flops year long. But yeah, I always have my toes out. But for those times that I don't, and when I'm skating and stuff, that dead skin definitely causes pain and tension. So it's okay for me to go in right now with my cuticle nippers, even though I just did this not that long ago. That is how quickly that skin builds up. And I normally, honestly, y'all already know, I just let it build up for like a month, 2 months, even 3. And then I do my pedi, and then I feel wonderful. Then my toes feel great. And then, and then I just ease slowly but surely ease back into that discomfort. People were mentioning on the last live that I did doing my toes, people were mentioning that that they can't reach their toes or they can't bend over. Like, I promise y'all, there are chairs and footstools and all types of stuff that's actually designed for you to do your own toes as well as your clients. So if it's really that big of an issue, just try to invest into one of those. Because I mean, either you're gonna have somebody else do it, or you're gonna pay somebody else to do it, or you're going to invest in the necessary tools that you need to do it yourself. So I'm blessed that I'm able to, but also, like I have said before, I've been doing my own toes since I was little. Like, my daughter is 8, and I know that I was younger than that when I was doing my own toes. Painting, polishing them. I mean, like, I wasn't obviously doing this whole petty get up at 7, but I've always been agile enough to get to my own toes. So it's a blessing, because I'm sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable. I'm shaking a little bit. But yeah, I've always been able to get to my own toes, and it's more of a habit. Like, I can't do the splits. I'm not flexible, not putting my feet behind my head type of chick, because I definitely can't do none of that. And I wish that I could be a stripper, but I just don't have that upper body strength. So yeah, but I've always been able to do my toes though. I don't mind doing pedicures. I don't mind touching feet. I promise I don't. I just got to the point in my career where I felt like pedicures were a waste of my time. I've always been into building my portfolio, and there are some things that just don't, obviously, like, people don't want to see. No, I'm not going to say that, but my audience, I don't feel, wants to see toes all damn day. I'm only doing basic, well, not basic pedicures, but the polish job, 9 times out of 10, I'm not doing no extravagant toes. So it takes away from me being able to do content. So I'm gonna go in now with my fine sanding band, and I'm just gonna remove the rest of that red, because I did leave some red, because like I said, I don't want to go down with too much pressure on my natural toenails, just like I am with my natural nails. Maybe because I can bring them closer to my face. I'm not as I don't use my e-file as slow. But with my toes, I'm really careful about my toes, because with paper thin nails, if I have paper thin nails, I'm just going to throw some nails on top of it and call it a day. But I can't have paper thin toes. That's not going to work, because then I'm going to need a full set on my toes, and I really, really, really would love to avoid doing that if possible. I've never had an entire full set on my toes. I don't even recommend an entire full set on toes. It's just, your feet and water and entrapment and all that. I don't think it's the safest way to build up your toenails. If you need extensions, it would absolutely be best if you did hard gel instead, since it's non-porous and it can't really trap water in the way that acrylic can. And your toes, you ain't paying attention to your toes. And if they're painted, you can't tell if they're turning green underneath. So with hard gel, you kind of eliminate a lot of that worry of getting some. I'm sorry, y'all. My string, my wire cord is all in the way. But yeah, try a hard gel on your toes if you need to extend them instead of acrylic if you can. But if you're getting your toe maintenance like every 2 weeks, honestly the way you're supposed to, then a full set of any kind of product, whether it be hard gel or acrylic, is not harmful or detrimental at all. It's the maintenance, guys. Like, nails is not only me doing your nails, but also you maintaining your nails at home when you don't see me. Like, I'm only going to see you for a couple hours, and then you in those 2 weeks you're on your own. So you take care of your nails at home. It makes my job easier. It makes your bill lower when you're getting your nails done. So yeah, I just love my clients, and trust my clients absolutely with maintenance. But I tell my clients the truth. Like, yeah, I could sit here and charge you an extra $45 for, a full set on your toes. But are you going to go home and make sure that you maintain that full set and you're drying your toes completely individually after the shower? Like, nobody's doing all that. So it is a responsibility if you're going to decide to put acrylic or any kind of enhancement on your toenails. Now, gel, I just love to put some gel polish on my toenails and then forget about them. And also know that if your toenails are paper thin, there's really not too much you can do about that. So just try to avoid, if you can, that damage altogether. Don't want thin toenails. Your polish is not going to stick. They're going to break all the time, which is not fun. So you see me just blending in that cuticle area and removing that excess red. This toe, my pinky toe on this foot, I always call this my bad foot because I played soccer in high school. So I just feel like my right foot is naturally just not the pretty one because it's my kicking foot. But I grew up with a split in this pinky toenail, and I have no clue why it's split. I don't know if something happened or it's just genetic, or that's just how my toe has always been. I have no clue. But this toe, you can't see it, not really, but it splits from right here below the cuticle and up to right here. So this is actually crazy. It's 2 toenails, and I just file them down and blend them together so it looks like one. But this toenail is actually split, not in half, but just a chunk is split off of this toenail. And so it's two toenails, and it's always been that way. No matter how I file it, shape it, whatever, it's definitely something that is a result of my nail bed, because that's how the nail grows. It has nothing to do with maintenance or anything like that. That's just how it is, and I do what I can to make it look like one nice pinky toenail. So yeah, there goes my toes. I used to hate my toes, but yeah, now that I know how to do my own toes, I don't be tripping. My toes are fine. I've seen way worse, so I don't be tripping. I always tell my clients too, don't be embarrassed. My job is to do feet. I don't mind doing feet. That's a part of my scope of practice. And trust me, there's not a pair of feet in this world that's going to make me be like, oh my God, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing your feet ever again. I promise. It's really not. It's never going to happen. I enjoy a nice, ugly pair of feet that I can turn into a masterpiece. So I am going to now use acetone if I have any. I got a little bit. I'm going to use some acetone and just dry out my toenails. Get that dust out of there. I don't want to use any oils, lotions, anything like that, because gel polish is a nail enhancement, and it's just like acrylic. You want to make sure that there's no oil involved on the nail plate, otherwise it's not going to be good. It's not going to adhere. Client is going to be complaining about her gel polish peeling off, and it's really her peeling it, but it's really your fault because it's peeling in the first place. So I want to make sure that there's no oils or anything involved. I'm not going to do any filing. I'm going to do all of my filing afterwards, after the gel has already been applied, because I don't want to file my natural nails anymore. And especially if they're soft right now, because I've just removed the enhancements. I don't want to file my toenails and then they break. So I like the length that they are right now, the shape that they are right now, and then I'm going to apply my gel polish, and after that is cured and completely finished that process, I'm going to then do my shaping and my filing. So I forgot my base coat. Let me grab my base coat if I can reach it. So my favorite base coat, I'm sure I've said this plenty of times before, my absolute favorite base coat has always been Bio Seaweed. I don't know like how their website is. They used to, I've never ordered from them. Well, maybe. Yeah, I don't think I have. There was a point in time, I don't know if their website is still that way, but there was a point in time where the professionals, we get a different price than the public, but the professionals couldn't order from the website and get those pro prices. They had to like fill out a form, like a catalog type deal and all that, and submit it, and that's how you get your price. And y'all know me, I'm a minimalist. I don't want to do all that. I want to just get online and pay for it. But also, I don't want to, I still want to get my, like, you done showed me what the pro prices are, so I damn sure ain't paying full price. So I was just ordering Bio Seaweed from Amazon for a while, but then I felt like when I was getting it, it was either watered down or diluted. I don't know, but it just wasn't acting right. So what I do instead is I go to the ISSE show in Long Beach every year, normally every year. I haven't gone. I didn't go this past year. But there's an ISSE show, beauty show in Long Beach every year in January, and Bio Seaweed is always there. They're always at Nail Pro as well, Nail Pro Pasadena, which is like April, May every year, and they're always there as well. So I go to the nail shows, and oh look, y'all, I was just talking about how I don't want to put enhancements and stuff on my, I think I can get away with that toe being that short. Damn, I don't know what I want to do, guys. I'm contemplating. Okay, you guys, I'm going to show y'all a nail repair. I'm going to stop being lazy, because I was really about to just cut this piece off. But this is why I don't file beforehand. I do most of the filing afterwards, because if the nail is already soft or weak in any spots, places, then it will crack. So I'm just going to put some hard gel on it. No big deal. But yeah, Bio Seaweed. Anyway, I go to the show, and because you're at the show, you're getting show prices and pro prices anyway. I just go to the show and I stock up. I buy literally like 10 of the base and top coat bundles. Their top coat, their non-wipe top coat is amazing for chrome. There aren't that many chromes that I've used. There's probably been like one or two, maybe three chromes that I've used that did not, I feel, I'm sorry, maybe I should do this on camera. I feel did not work with the Bio Seaweed top coat, but I think it was the chrome. I don't think it was the top coat. So I'm trying to get just a really small bead of some hard gel. Obviously, I don't need a lot. I don't even need this much for the whole toe. But for the sake of educational purposes, there goes my bead, and I'm just gonna let that sit there. I'm gonna put some primer on this toenail. I'm gonna pull the skin back. I'm gonna start on this side, and you see me kind of rubbing it in because I just want to blend it into the rest of my toenail. I really don't put enhancements on my entire toenail. If I have a break or a crack, I just deal with that break or crack on that side and just make sure the rest of the toenail is blended. So you're just seeing me using my hard gel to just kind of build up that nail. You can also use a form for this, but it's hard gel, so once it cures, if it is touching my skin at all, I'm going to just separate it. It's hard gel, and once it's done, it's done. If your toenails are sensitive, most people don't have sensitive toenails because your toenails are naturally just thicker than your fingernails anyway. But if you or your client suffers from heat spikes, have them put their toe in the light for about 5 seconds, pull it out, wait about 3 to 5 seconds, and then put it back in. That way you're kind of slowing down that curing process, and so it won't be so hot against your skin. But for me, I don't normally suffer from heat spikes on my toes. Very rarely do I suffer from a heat spike. So I'm just going to let this cure. I'm going to do 45 seconds because I am going to add to it. So it didn't touch my skin at all. So I'm just going to, now that I've gotten that sticky layer of hard gel right there, I'm going to go in with a small bead, another small bead. And hard gel sticks to hard gel, remember that. So, or hard gel, gel stick to gel, period. So now that it's sticky, it's more likely to stay where I put it. It has that sticky surface, so it's not going to be moving around all over the place. And this is self-leveling, but I don't want to give it the chance to self-level. I just want to add that shelf and hurry up and cure it so that it doesn't touch my skin or go at all underneath my nail, my natural nail. But it's hard gel, y'all. It's hard gel for a reason. It's not going to be spilling all over the place. There are people that I know that actually do warm up their hard gel during the application process so that it's a little bit more liquidy, like a lot more fluid. But I don't like to use my hard gel that way. I'm the same way with my hard gel as I am with my acrylic. I like it to sit where I want it to sit, and then I want to place it where I want to place it. I don't want to drop a glob and let it run down. I don't want to do all that. I want to be in charge. I don't let the product control me. Alright, so I'm showing you guys from the side. I've built up that length. That length is back, but I do want to make sure that I get the very, very side of the nail. Otherwise, the enhancement, the extension is just going to pop right off. So I'm going to go back in just with a little bit of hard gel. I'm going to grab grab a little bead, wipe it off the side. See how small that is? Just as small as the other ones. If I could get it smaller, I would. So now that that's there, I'm going to just add some hard gel to the side right there. I don't really care about it being smooth or anything like that during the application process because it's gel. I'm not going to allow it to self-level. I'm just going to put my toenail back in there. And I'm going to allow that to cure for a full 60 seconds. And because that took a while, well, not a while, but it was a step that I didn't anticipate on doing. Just kind of get this light together for us, y'all. I'm going to reapply primer. Got a little bit of red still left on this nail, and I'm just going to be lazy and leave it there. If anybody sees that, if anybody looks down and is like, oh, you got some red on your toe still. Girl, why are you so close to me? Okay, so I just scratched it off. It's early in the morning, we doing hood shit. So I'm gonna go in with my base coat from Bio Seaweed. And just do a thin layer of the base coat. This just creates that tacky layer between your natural nail and your gel polish or enhancement, whatever. Just like a gel mani, we're going to start with a base coat, a gel base coat, and we're going to cure it. All right, so I got that base coat popping. Going to sit it in there. One of my favorite things about the Bio Seaweed top coat and gel base coat is that, like I was saying in my previous live earlier, is that I love gels that don't over cure. You can't over cure it. Once it's cured, it's done curing, and it's not going to wrinkle or separate or anything like that. So what I love about the Bio Seaweed base coat is that I have never encountered over curing with other gel base coats that I've used before, such as like Gelish. I was using the Gelish base coat a lot because that's what the salon I was at was using. But with the Gelish base coat, or the one that I was using, I just dropped my bow. The one that I was using, you could only cure it for like 20 seconds, and then you had to hurry up and get those nails out of there. Otherwise, it would over cure and shrivel up. You had to be, it was just a hit and miss kind of base coat, and I started using Bio Seaweeds, and it just worked better for me. So I got my little fake toenail popping, and I'm going to manually file it. And taper in those sides like I was saying earlier. So because I don't bring the nail enhancement, like if I chip a nail or something, I don't bring it all the way down. It does pop off. It's going to take a couple weeks, but it will pop off. But by the time it pops off, it's normally because the nail is growing out and pushing that product up, because it does not go all the way down to the cuticle area, so it's not all the way adhered to the nail. So most of the time it pops off. It's not every single time, but most of the time, by the time my nail grows out, the extension has popped off. So I just don't want this to be thick. I'm going to use my e-file, and I'm going to use the comb bit. And this is the comb bit that I normally use to seal and blend my cuticle area, but this comb bit is actually marketed and intended for underneath the nail. I just don't like going underneath my nails or my client's nails, because your hyponychium, that's that skin that grows with your nail underneath, and it's pretty sensitive, so I don't like to go underneath. But I went underneath just to create kind of like that C curve illusion. I'm gonna file it a little bit more straight. Now that I put that hard gel on there, that side is actually higher than the other, so I'm just gonna file it back in shape. And there it is right now. So far, I'm gonna stop being lazy. Well, that wasn't really lazy. I'm gonna stop doing it the hard way and be a little bit lazy, and go in with my fine sanding band that I was using earlier and put it on a low setting, because I don't want to remove it. I just want to make sure that it's blended with my natural nail, and it's not going to be some huge ugly mountain. Okay, so now smooth enough. Just don't want to do a lot of filing, and I'm going to go in with my alcohol. And just remove that dust. It's really dusty, dirty process. So now that that part is done, I'm going to go in with my primer like I did. I'm sorry, I was like running through my mind what the hell this was, but I'm going to go in with my primer and prime these nails now that my extension is finished. Dry for a second, and I'm going to use my ghetto toe separators. And thank you guys for those of you who are tuning in. I know it is late wherever you are. I know it ain't a regular time of the day. It's definitely not business hours here in the United States. But I definitely appreciate those of you who are up, you insomniacs like me. I'm going to just go on my Facebook real quick and share the live. Oh, my stars are enabled, so it looks like you guys are able to send me stars. So thank you so much to those of you who send me stars. Stars are all stars are, it's just like a tip. I'm not going to say all they are, but stars are a tip, and it's just like watching somebody or a musician or a dancer kind of just do their thing at the beach, and they got their hat or whatever out, or like in New York they'll be on a corner or whatever, and yeah, you give that person a tip because you're like, damn, you on here doing your thing. So I appreciate you guys so much. For those of you who be sending me love offerings, I definitely appreciate it. I hope that, I get this whole Facebook ordeal in order. But if I don't, I still appreciate the gesture. I do. So this is my base coat. Thin layer. You guys see I'm not even dipping the stick back in the bottle. These are just my toenails. It doesn't take all that. A little goes a long way. Alrighty, y'all. So I'm going to do a French on my toes. It's my go-to. It's my favorite. It's just something about French toes that just make me happy. So I'm gonna do some French, but I'm gonna do this is my favorite color, guys, in the world. And pink is not my favorite color. My favorite color is purple. And I'm not a fan of pink, but this pink is just something about this blush, the most blush pink you could ever find, but it's got this shimmer to it that is amazing, and it's called Grapefruit Sparkle. Yeah, Grapefruit Sparkle by Cmd. I'm sorry, you can't even see it, but it's by Cmd. Cmd is not a cheap gel polish, but it's an amazing gel polish, and this is my favorite gel polish color in the world. I don't care if it's on my hands, my toes, whatever. I love it, but it's such a blush pink. You can't even see the pink unless you do multiple coats. But that shimmer, though, is there. So I'm only going to do one coat of it and just get that blush shimmer popping. And I know you can't even see it. You probably can't see it that well on the camera, but I assure you that this color is amazing. It's called Grapefruit Sparkle, and it's by Cmd. They do have the bigger bottles. Cmd has bigger bottles. You can find them a lot cheaper at nail supplies rather than buying from straight from Cmd. But also, like, you have guaranteed quality when you buy straight from the manufacturer, the maker, the company, or whatever. So Cmd Grapefruit Sparkle, it is beautiful. Pictures don't do it justice. I don't know if they have, like, if Cmd has a picture of what Grapefruit Sparkle looks like as a swatch or whatever, but I'm pretty sure, like, the swatch itself is misleading. It comes in this cute little pink bottle because Cmd, their bottles are the color of the color inside. Like, OPI changed their packaging. It used to be the color of the polish was on top of the bottle, and now when you buy an OPI polish, the entire bottle is the color or some type of match to what's inside. So Cmd's bottles are like that. It's got this pretty pink, but like this pink is misleading. It is not what this looks like at all. But y'all know I love me some shimmer. So that's all for my scene. I literally use this color like twice a year. I do not use this color a lot because obviously the bottle's really tiny, and also for a while it was really hard for me to find this color. I don't know why. And then I found it like on Walmart, and I bought it, but I bought it for like $22 or some dumbass shit from Walmart, and it was this tiny bottle, but I love the color so much that it's worth it. It is. So now I'm gonna go in with my white by Cmd. I'm sorry, y'all, it's dirty, but this white is called Cream Puff. I normally use IBD's whipped cream white. That's my favorite white to use as far as gel polishes go. But this is my backup. There's nothing wrong with this color, this white, anything like that. It's just my backup because it's not my favorite. My favorite is by IBD. So let me see how I'm going to do this. I'm going to now remove that tacky layer from the gel polish using alcohol. Well, I'm actually using hand sanitizer. Is it coming off? No, it's not coming off. Just look like that sparkle is coming off. It looks like it's coming off though. But when I move my toe, it doesn't look like it's off. I don't know, y'all. I think I might do another coat. I'll do another coat on top of the white. Fringe tip with gel is really, really easy. I don't know why for the longest I just thought it was super hard, so I avoided it. But I do kind of feel like French tip on your with gel is easier than regular polish. But for a very long time I used to only use regular white polish on my toes and then wait for them to dry all day and then put a gel top coat on top, and that worked for me. But y'all know that gel polish on top of regular polish is just stupid, and don't do it. Too many liabilities unless you just want to see your client again in a few days, or if you want to hear your client complain about that tiny little crack in one of her nails, then yeah, I guess that's the route to go. But if you can help it, just do all gel or all polish. I know shops be like, oh, it's just an extra $5 for gel top coat. No, just pay the full $20 or whatever. I'm talking to the consumers now. Pay how much ever it costs for getting the entire gel polish and getting a gel pedicure. Otherwise, don't pay for that $5 top coat because you're going to be unhappy. And I'm not shading anybody, y'all. I'm sorry, because I feel I did shade a lot of people, but it wasn't my intention. Because I know it's a lot of nail techs who still be like, bitch, I'm putting this gel top coat over this regular polish and you can kiss my ass. So I do know people have made it work, but I'm not about to sit there for 45 minutes and wait for your polish to dry completely just so I could top coat it. Girl, if you don't get your ass on and get all of this gel polish and stop being cheap, I guess. I feel like that $5 is $5 for that gel top coat is just a ticket back to the nail salon in a couple days. Okay, so for this step, you kind of can use any brush. I like to use gel brushes when I'm doing this step. And I start off with a dry, clean, or damp gel brush. But you can also use your French brush if you have it. So this is the same gel brush that I was using for my my hard gel on that other toe, and I've cleaned it off and it's dry now. So I'm just going to use the corner of it. I'm wiping that white off on that paper towel in between my toes. Oh shit, I'm sorry y'all, my finger slipped. Gotta repolish that. Sorry. And thank you again, y'all, for my stars. I appreciate it. I really do. Like, for real. They're stars. And they're like, it's not no huge ass deal. You guys aren't sending me hundreds and shit like that. But the fact that you opened your wallet, for me, and it adds up, y'all. Like, every time I go live, people are sending stars every time. And if I go live, 20 times and I get, $20 worth of stars every time, that adds up for me, just doing what I love to do. So I definitely appreciate the gesture, and for it, I do enjoy going live a lot more. Facebook has integrated a lot of cool things on their platform for content creators. Unfortunately, I'm going through the blues with my Facebook account because I was hacked. So, yeah, that's never fun. But y'all know the saying goes, thieves do not break into empty houses. So obviously I had a cool little thing going for myself, and the devil didn't like that. So, what comes with success and what comes with just higher vibrations also comes with a lot more attacks. So just know that. I'll tell you guys, I have told you guys about my prayer when it came to my business. Is I told God, like, I'm ready. I know I'm going to cry. I know I'm going to have anxiety. I know I'm going to be depressed sometimes. I know that I'm going to be angry, frustrated. But I also know that my calling requires that kind of journey. And if it was an easy road, it definitely would not be worth it. So it has not been easy, and it does get harder. It at no point has this whole shebang gotten easier, but I'm rolling with the punches. I'm blessed to have my mom who also rolls with the punches, and she's patient with me, and that's what I need. I just need patience. I need people to be patient with me. And my mom, I give her the absolute worst shit, right? Because she's the closest person to me. So my mom gets like the worst parts of me. But also, I'm really honest with my parents. I'm honest with my mom, honest with my dad, because I feel like they can't judge me. So I'm just really honest with them. But I think that my honesty has allowed my mom, my parents in general, both of them, to be a little bit more patient with me, because they know I be trying. Like, I'm always trying. So I'm getting my lines a little bit more crisp, but I'm using just a little bit, y'all. I'm actually using hand sanitizer because that's the closest thing to me, but I'm using a very, very damp brush. I don't like my line this thick, but also it is a pain to make the line thinner and thinner without spreading white where you don't want it. And also it helps to just have a straight brush. My brush is not straight. It's got a couple of stray hairs that are doing their own thing. That you see how, like, I don't like my toes when they're not polished, but then when they are polished, it's like a whole new foot, y'all. Look, see, I'm going on and on about stars, and you guys are sending me more stars. Thank you, Marissa and Lily, Alicia. I see y'all sending me stuff. I really appreciate you. before I got on live, I was soaking off my nails and I was watching the Five Bloods. So I haven't finished it because I know you guys want me to create a collection in memory of Chadwick. Normally I do collections for musicians because C tones, obviously C is for ocean and tones is for melody, my daughter. So I try to always incorporate water or music. So when we have fallen musicians, I do go a little bit harder for them because they are musicians. And I tell people all the time, when Melody's father passed away, I was pregnant, and we didn't even know she was a girl, but we had already agreed on her name being Melody. And it was just crazy that music is the number one thing. The number one thing absolutely was music that helped me through that really difficult time in my life. And then what came after music to help me kind of battle depression and anxiety and also postpartum, just something that a lot of women, especially young moms, I was a teen mom, so I wasn't educated about postpartum, and I always felt like, oh, you have your baby and then you're sad, and that's what postpartum is. But for me, with both of my children, when I had my kids, I was happy. I was really happy and joyous, to have this new life in my world. And when it came to my kids, I didn't suffer from postpartum until they were like one, maybe like a couple months younger than one. But it took a while for that postpartum to kick in. And I thank God for my mom, because my mom, during my pregnancy, when I was suffering the loss of her father, my mom signed me up for nail school. It was like, this is what we about to do, so are you coming or no? And I'm glad that I got the invite, because 9 years later, out of the three of us that were in nail school together, me, my mom, my auntie, I'm the only one still practicing. But I'm grateful for my mom, because my mom, she has definitely put aside her entire, just her life, I wouldn't necessarily say her calling, because I don't know what my mom's calling is. I can't speak for what her calling is. But my mom has put everything, most things on hold just to be my ace when it comes to C-tones. C-tones is never something that I say is mine. I always say ours or we, because I did not start C-tones alone. I didn't start it by myself. And my mom has definitely been the savior for C-tones, because if it was up to me, I would have quit this shit. This shit was not fun. The first day, I was like, take it off, take the website down. This is too much already. And my mom watched me have my anxiety attack. My son's father made me take a walk around the block. And they just talked to me and counseled me, and I'm just glad to have that backup. And I'm glad to have my followers, my supporters. Obviously, you guys are who I do it for. Otherwise, I would just be on here 3 o'clock in the morning talking to myself, right? Oh, Sweden's in the house. All right, guys. So there goes my French. It's not perfect. If you guys saw it up close, you'd be like, "Bitch, stop playing." But it's it's what I can do at this time in the morning. I'm just gonna add a little bit more white to this nail. I might have rubbed it off a little bit. Okay, so there go my toesies. There's the difference between my toes when they're done and they're not done. It's a huge freaking difference. And that is why I will not allow anybody to see me walking around with my toes busted. That's crazy. Not when I can sit here and do it myself. And so what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna do my cute little toes or whatever, and then in the morning or I got shit to do tomorrow. But like if I get a free moment tomorrow, I can sit in the pedicure chair, put some jelly in there, some salt, some oils. I like to put a little bit of peppermint body wash. Well, not body wash, the peppermint my Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap. I just put a little dash in there, and I've also been putting on my clients to the whole Listerine bath. So if you have rough feet, and you're just like, you don't know what to do, and you do a lot of home remedies and that shit don't work, or it doesn't last a long time, stop wasting all your money on all these, professional products, and go and pick you up a nice, decent sized bottle of some Listerine. I prefer the blue one. I was taught to use the blue one, but the green one works just as well. But I just like the feeling of the blue Listerine. But go get you some Listerine, get you some vinegar, some white vinegar, or it could be apple cider vinegar. It's up to you, girl. And put that with some warm water. So some warm water, some vinegar, and some Listerine, and soak your feet. Watch a movie, do some work on your laptop, whatever. But sit there and soak. And once you are done soaking, and you go in and rub on your feet, the calluses should be so soft. That dead skin should be so soft that you can damn near rub it off with a towel. So if you happen to have a pumice stone or something at home, definitely use that. It'll help a lot. But a quick, simple home remedy of some shit you might already have in the house, some Listerine and some white vinegar. And check that out. Tell me how it went for you. I don't personally suffer from calloused heels or anything, but obviously I've seen my fair share of just really, really bad calluses that crack and bleed. I've seen it all. I've seen the worst. So luckily, I am blessed to have never had that problem. But in the summer, we wear flip-flops more often. Our toes are exposed more often. And when it's warm outside, you don't notice, but your heels is hitting that pavement a lot. So, a lot of times we suffer from rough, cracked, dry heels in the summer when our toes are more exposed. And then there are people who are the complete opposite, who suffer from rough and cracked skin during the winter, during the cold months. So it's just, the Listerine bath is a cool little alternative than going every 2 weeks and begging them people to use the cheese grater on you. Yeah, that's not legal. So you definitely, I just gave y'all some game, and I hope you use it and then come back and tell me how you liked it, or if you didn't like it. And everybody's different. And I know a lot of people are sensitive to peppermint, so that's just not their thing. I love peppermint though. I think because I'm so sensitive to peppermint, I enjoy it more. But yeah, some Listerine and some vinegar, that'll do the trick. So I'm using a little bit of alcohol on my brush, and that corner of my brush to create that smile line. I've already created it, but now I'm just going in and putting that curve. I like a smile line. I'm not a huge fan of the straight across French. I know some people are. Everybody has their preferences, but me personally, I like for my smile line to really be smiling. And like I said earlier too, guys, if you don't have a gel brush like the one that I'm using, I believe this one is by, no, don't let me lie, I think it's by IBD, y'all, but I could definitely not be telling the truth. But from what I'm aware of is I've only purchased gel brushes from IBD, and the reason why is because my favorite hard gel, obviously before C-tones, but my favorite hard gel was IBD's hard gel. So whenever I went to the shows, I make sure that I stocked up on their hard gel and just get a couple brushes. What I like about gel brushes is they're not as delicate as, or no, they are as delicate as acrylic brushes, but they're not as high maintenance as acrylic brushes. You definitely have to be really careful with your acrylic brush, because one false move will ruin it for you and your clients until you spend another $30-$40 on a new brush. But a gel brush, you can use a gel brush until the wheels fall off, and you can still get the same quality look. But this gel brush though is giving me a hard time. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I put the that pink down first and it's still a little bit sticky, so I'm just going to go in with my my cleanup brush, also known as a French brush. Well, not also known, it's called a French brush, but we use it for cleaning up. And this specific task when doing French, this part is the part where you're cleaning up. So yes, technically it's a cleanup brush. I mean, technically it's a French brush, but the Americans call it a cleanup brush. So forgive me if I refer to it as a cleanup brush more than a French brush, even though I'm doing French. But this is what this brush is designed for. As you can see, it's curved, so it's easier for me to create that smile line. I like to use the gel brush because I just like to be a little bit more detailed. And with this French brush, you have to be really, really careful, because since it's bigger than my gel brush, it has more girth and it's heavier and it's thicker. I'm more likely, well, not more likely, but well, yeah, I'm more likely to take off too much of my white, and I don't want to do that, because then once I have that one toenail that has a thin line, because I took off too much, then I gotta go back and do all the other toenails and make those thinner, so that that one nail doesn't look special needs. Someone said on my last live when I was doing my toes, she was like, "You have a toenail?" Like, I don't have a toenail. I don't have a pinky toenail. And I thought it was so funny, because so many people don't have pinky toenails, and I have no clue why that is. I've never cared enough to like actually look into it and see why people don't have pinky toenails, or their pinky toenails just do not grow. But if you ain't got one, it is overrated. It ain't fucking special. I wish I had 2 less toenails to do when I was doing my toes. I've even had clients before tell me to just paint their skin. Like, bitch, if you don't do a little mock toenail, a little faux toe. So yeah, if you don't have a pinky toe, don't worry about it. It's not that special. Pinky toes are overrated. It's just an extra toe to do. And know that if you are missing your pinky toenail, it's all right, because plenty of you are not alone. I feel like I'm not gonna say I feel like I meet more people who don't have a pinky toenail, but it's extremely common. It is very, very common. Like, I don't think it's 50-50, but it's up there. I'll say 35-65. And 35-65. 35 is a big percentage. Just want my smile line to be a little bit deeper. The part that I mess up on every time, I know some of y'all nail techs can relate, is these damn corners right here, these bottom corners. Sometimes I'll create the smile line and it goes so nicely until boom, it hits that corner at the bottom, and it's like, never, just kidding. This was going to be a good French, but you didn't make it. And then I got to do a little bit of finagling to get that sharp point on both sides of the nail. But also, people really don't see the sides of your toenails. They shouldn't see the side of your toenails. Like I said, if somebody's that close to judge, then they're not maintaining their 6 feet, and they should be considered a threat. But that's just how I feel. So I'm going to let those toesies cure, and then I'm going to do that second coat. I told you I was going to do another coat of that pink, because when I wiped off with alcohol a little bit earlier, I feel like a lot of my shimmer was just like, never mind, we don't want to be here. So I'm just going to put another coat of that pink, and I'm going to go over the white, because as you can see, that pink is really, really sheer, translucent, so it's not going to affect my white much. But I'm not going to put it on afterwards, because I really like that crisp, untainted white look when my French is finished. So I'm going to apply my pink, my blush, and then I'm going to go in with my second coat of white, which is always the easier coat, is your second coat of white. That first coat is, you got to really, really be paying attention and be meticulous to how you apply that white and clean it up. But then that second coat is just a breeze. And obviously, French toes take longer than, me just painting my entire toenail white or this blush color or whatever. So I try to make sure that when I'm doing my French, or you'll only catch me doing my French toes if I have time. If I don't have time, I'm picking the darkest color on the shelf. Or even white. I tried white for the first time this summer on my toes, and I really, really, really liked it. So maybe that's what, well, yes, it's almost Labor Day, right? Can't wear white after Labor Day. I mean, what does that mean? I don't even know what that means. Like, who came up with that? Who said you can't wear white after Labor Day? I feel like I've heard a reason before, but it obviously wasn't that amazing of a reason, because I can't seem to remember why you're not allowed to wear white on Labor Day. And also, that might not even be like a black thing. Like, that may not even apply to me. Like, I may be able to just rock white all year long. I'm not sure, but also, that's stupid, because I don't wear no white. Y'all don't see me in the white. Now I'm gonna go in with my white, and it's okay if I go past my smile line. I actually prefer to, so that I don't wipe away too much of this second coat and then expose that first coat. One of those smile lines that needs to be corrected, so I'm just going to pull that a little bit down. I'm going to pull that down a little bit lower. And also, like, my fourth toe, I think it's on my other foot too, is the toenail is so crooked, so I have to just really, really do optical illusions type deal, especially when filing, to make that toenail look as straight as the others. But like, as you can see, like from right here, like even my nail bed down here is slanted, so it's never gonna grow correctly. So I definitely do some fake stuff to make it look like, oh, she's got 10 toes that go straight, and really I only got 8 that go straight. It's all about the finished result. So because that pink underneath is still sticky, it does make it a little bit more difficult for me to slide my brush by with ease, but it's okay to do like a sketch until you get your straight line. You don't have to just swoop the smile line. You can just do a sketch until you get the smile line that you want. It takes a little bit longer, but if you're a stickler for detail, then that's what you gotta do. You just slowly sketch that smile line back into existence, and I'm making sure that my brush is not wet at all. It's damp, so it is like a used to be wet kind of damp, and that's what helps keeps those bristles together in the brush so that they don't separate, from being dry and then create all these grooves and tick marks in my smile line. And I am using hand sanitizer for this. Any alcohol will work. I don't recommend acetone because it could compromise your colors. So just stick with some regular alcohol. And like I said, your brush doesn't need to be wet. It doesn't need to be saturated. It needs to be damp. That sketching motion. We're getting somewhere in the toe department. You want to make sure that these layers of white are very thin, because you don't want them to be too thick and then flood the cuticle area or the side walls while you are doing the other nails. And what I also love about this white is it's a lot like Alpine Snow from OPI. It's not a hard white to work with, and it's not streaky and clumpy and all that stuff that's normally associated with any kind of white polish or even white acrylic. So yeah, the CMD formula, it is called Cream Puff, and I've been using it for years, but it is my backup. My number one is IBD's whipped cream, but I don't have that with me right now because it's my favorite white, and I took it out of the studio because I wanted to use it, and now I don't know where it is. So, yay me. To get my brush a little bit damp. And if you're having a hard time getting that shape, just wet your brush a little bit more. Put a tad bit more alcohol on it. And if you mess up, wipe it off and start over. You are in the clear until it's cured. Definitely can no longer tell that this is my bum toe. I'm trying to concentrate on this toe because remember I was saying about my fourth toe being the bum toe, then I have to create all these optical illusions to make it look like a real straight toe, and it's really not. I guess my toe is straight. It's my toenail that does whatever it wants to do. Okay, I feel like I've gotten it to where I want it. Or I don't have it to where I want it, but it's not terrible. A smaller brush would definitely help. Meh. It's alright. I don't know. The smile line is deeper. I wanted to create the smile line a little bit deeper, but it looks a little too dramatic. But I think the damage is already done. So I'm going to just leave that one alone and just act like, you know, I'm done with it and just move on. Because that's what life is about. So I'm going to go on over to my double wide pinky toe. Alright, boom. My other foot. Okay, so earlier when I was on live doing my client, I was using this top coat, and this top coat's actually been sitting here for a while, so I really don't know how long I've had this top coat or if I've refilled it or what the case is, but it was separating a little bit, and for my toenails, that ain't gonna work. So if it starts separating on my toenails, I'm gonna take alcohol and remove it completely and use a different one. But I think I just didn't shake it up the way that I should have, and it's not full either, so I'm like dealing with the bottom of the barrel, literally. Top coat. So let's hope that shaking it up a little bit helped. It's really hard to tell with this white and nude pink going on, but it does not look like it's separating so far. So I'm just going to do this quickly just in case it is separating or going to separate. And it'll be cured before it even gets to that point. But it does look like it's doing better now. So I need to just make sure that every time I use it, and well, I'm going to refill it, but until I refill it, if I use it before then, I gotta shake it up really good. At this point, to me, I don't think it's necessary to do that, to cap the tip of the toenails, but I'm going to be filing anyway, so it's not gonna hurt, but it also isn't gonna make a huge difference either. So if you're running out of gel top coat or something like I am, well, this bottle specifically, then you want to make sure that one, you shaking up the bottle all the way, because now I see what the issue was, and it would have caused me a lot less trouble earlier when I was on live, because remember y'all had to do that extra coat and what's it called, I had to do that extra coat and etch the surface up a little bit so that it would look nice and smooth. Okay, so this foot is done. And look, just look at the beauty of gel polish. Like, I literally can kick somebody in the face and not smudge a thing. And like I said, I'm going to do the finishing touches on the shaping at the very end. When all of the polish is cured, and this is just some cuticle oil. Splash on those. And so now that the polish is finished and it's all cured, this would be the point where I start the actual like foot massage oils and all that good stuff. The soaking, all that. Now that the polish is cured and completed and finished, there's There's nothing else that you're really restricted to do. So all the oils and salts and stuff is okay now that the toes are completely finished. So tomorrow, like I said, I was going to do, so I really don't have time to sit in the pedicure jelly or anything. But maybe next week. My September right now looks so free and beautiful, and I was so close to booking a flight the other night, just to somewhere, well, not somewhere random, but I was gonna drop my son off at his daddy's house and then snatch my daughter up and not pack any clothes and just show up in another state. But yeah, no, I'm not about that life with these kids right now. That would be fun, but I keep finding myself in the middle of the night wanting to book a flight somewhere. And this is the toenail that I had to correct and re-add the length to, so I'm just kind of getting it from a different angle. And it also is thicker because it has product on it. But there goes my toes, y'all. So just like I told my friend, is you're never going to see me without my toes done. Not ever, because you guys already saw Mickey Nails' toes without polish, and they're not cute. So I got my little Frenchies going. If my toenails were longer, I would have done my line thinner. So the thicker line gives my toenails the illusion that they're a little bit longer than they actually are, but they're shorties, they're little. My big toe does not even go past the skin. That's how far low I broke it down. But I just straighten it up with the hand file. So there you guys are. Once again, you guys got to be with me early in the morning while I do my toes. And if you're watching on YouTube, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for transitioning to the platform with me. And if it's your first time watching, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed. And this is not something like, toes is something that I've recently just started doing. I've never been doing my toes on live, but I've just kind of been trying to take advantage of any of the opportunities that I have to go live. And I got some quiet space and the Wi-Fi is all mine kind of deal. But yeah, so I love you guys and I appreciate you for watching. It's never too late to share the live. I know a lot of you guys, by the time you watch this, it'll be, well into the day. So thank you for coming back and watching the replay. And you guys know, every single time I go live, I'm going to encourage you. I urge you, I command you to contact whoever it is that you need to contact in your state, in your city, or you are more than welcome to contact the district attorney or it's something else, y'all, the attorney general. There you go. In Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, because Breonna Taylor's murderers are still walking around here turned up doing whatever they want to do, and her family is still suffering her loss from a no-knock warrant, and they shot the wrong person. They were at the wrong house in general, and they just walking by like, oh, my bad. So yeah, it ain't no my bad. I need you guys to do whatever you can. Use your platform, use whatever, just talk, get the conversation going, make people uncomfortable. It's just, you need to make people as uncomfortable as her family is. Like I said earlier, I'm not watching any more executions on video anymore, so I'm over it. We should have been over it. It's not okay. Stop publicizing people's family members' execution. I understand, like, it's something that people feel that we need to see, but we don't need to see death, y'all. That's never been cool. So yeah, we need to get on it, and we need to be more unified with each other so that we can get justice for our brothers and sisters that are getting shot down like dogs in the street. Like I said, I have a father, I have brothers, I have a son. So it could be one of my family members that does not come home because they failed to turn on their signal. So yeah, y'all, let's get America together. I love you guys. God bless you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys later.